Welcome, everybody. It is me. It is the Cyber Warrior. This is CyberWarriorStudios, and you know we're all here for Security Happy Hour, and I have an amazing guest today. Someone I didn't think I'd ever get, but we're going to have an amazing show. So before we get into it, I'll be right back. Welcome back, everybody. Like I said, it is me, the Cyber Warrior. With me, as always, well, I can't say as always because he kind of cut a little bit of a bout of DEF CON Rona. So, back once again, my partner in crime, El Señor Jefe de Seguridad, Eric Bellardo. Eric, how's it going, brother?
How's everybody doing? I'm so happy to be back here in the seat, and we're going to have an amazing show with...
Exactly. We have the amazing Alissa Knight with us this evening. Look, this woman, I don't know if anybody keeps up with Alissa, and if you don't, you were really, really mistaken on what you should be doing. I'm going to let her explain everything she does.
How can you keep up with her? That's what I don't know.
You would need a whole show for me to go through everything.
So, Alissa, how you doing this evening? I see you're in the airport. We had to reschedule the show to make sure you got
I
on.
know.
How's
I'm
it
so
going?
sorry. I want to apologize to your audience. I wanted to, I didn't realize that the show was originally scheduled for when I would be in the air. So I apologize to your audience, to you, Derek and Eric. So yeah, no, thank you so much for accommodating.
Oh, definitely, for sure. And look, I got to be honest. So we have a lot to talk about in this hour. And the one thing I want to say is you are so multifaceted between what you do in cybersecurity. You now have Night Studios in your own show and everything with Ransom, which we're going to talk about. And even better, now you have your own coffee brand.
Yeah, we're actually here in Seattle doing a tour and a tasting of the first roasts for our coffee, our first coffee that we'll be shipping. So we're super excited. So yeah, we could talk about Night Coffee Co. We can talk about Night Studios, all of the above. So do you want me to just kind of start out with an intro for people that do not know me?
Yeah, please do. Please start out with like
Okay.
kind of what you're doing. And I do know we want to talk about APIs and car hacking because that is, I saw you on Dave's show and it is amazing the things that you know.
Thank you so much, Dirk. Yeah. So for those of you who don't know who I am, I'm Alissa Knight. I'm a recovering hacker. I was arrested for hacking a government network when I was 17. Went to go work for the U.S. intelligence community in cyber warfare, and started and sold multiple cybersecurity startups. I'm a published author. My first book was on hacking connected cars. And now I'm running multiple companies with my wife, Mel, with Night Group. So Night Group actually is a holding company which owns multiple subsidiaries. So we have Night Studios, which is the movie production company. We recently just celebrated being signed as a movie studio with AMC Theaters. So our latest film just premiered at AMC Theaters. We're excited about that. We just yesterday were notified by Cannes that we've now been actually Ransom has just won best TV series of the year. So we're super excited about that. And yeah. Yay, so we're excited about that. So we're actually leaving to Cannes, France in 2 weeks. Hey, it's Chris. How you doing, Chris?
Yeah.
But yeah, so we're excited about that. So we're going to spend a week in Cannes, just touring the area. Mel has always wanted to go to Monaco. I haven't been on vacation in like 15 years, so I'm going to try and actually make this a vacation.
Do you know how to take a vacation?
The
Do you
South
even know
how to take a vacation?
Cannes
Yeah,
is an amazing area. I love that
I
area.
was told it was a beautiful area. So we also own Night Events, which runs annual cybersecurity conferences. We have Night Inc., which is a content creation firm. We have Breyer and Thorn, which is a managed security service provider. And then now we have Night Coffee Co. And then we also have Night Ventures. So this is basically our venture capital fund. Thanks, Jennifer. I love you. And Night Coffee Co. is our latest venture where I've just have one of my bucket list items has been to own a coffee shop, to have a coffee shop, and then also to have our own coffee beans. So we're super excited. We just did a tasting of the new roasts that will be coming out. We're planning on shipping our first roast in Q4. So we're excited about that, and everything kind of what we're involved in. But yeah, I'm trying to do as many things as I can in this one lifetime. My plan is to just live well.
It's empty.
You you sound like
I
it's funny you say
go
that
ahead,
because
Dorothy.
right, one of the things that even I've always wanted to do is try to expand into more and more. Me and Eric have talked about it. I wanted to open up a hacker bar. I still want to. It's still on my bucket list of things to do, but a place for
Yeah,
hackers and cybersecurity people where you're not kind of going to like a sports bar or something like that. So, just something different that gets them, allows them to be in their element, talk with people that, can do the whole thing and still have a drink and feel comfortable. So,
yeah,
I've had
yeah.
all these ideas.
Yeah, for me, just working out of a Starbucks, working at different coffee shops, there were things that I hated. Like, for some reason, I feel like every Starbucks is freezing cold. It's not comfortable. Whenever you needed to, get up and use the bathroom, you would have to stop what you were doing, shut your laptop and bring it with you, or someone obviously would steal your laptop. So, I wanted to fix everything with our coffee shop. So we're putting laptop locks at all the tables. There's going to be a fireplace in the first coffee shop we open. And it's actually, the plan is to actually, so Mel and I are buying a studio. It's about a 7,500 square foot warehouse near the Strip in Las Vegas. So we're actually going to be, we're actually having our own movie studio now. Instead of renting studios to film our different franchises, we just felt it would be best to just have our own studios. So we're going to be opening our first coffee shop attached to that studio, so we can just sort of cross pollinate the traffic between the studio and the coffee shop, and actually rent the studio out during Hacker Summer Camp. Because one of the most common questions that we get from people is, hey, do you know a local studio where we could live broadcast during Black Hat or DEF CON, or rent out some space to do something during Hacker Summer Camp? And so we thought this would be an awesome opportunity to actually offer that up
Well,
to people that are coming to Las Vegas.
we were trying to do that during Hacker Summer Camp, and
Yeah,
we
and
didn't find any place.
so the places that we're looking at right now is about 5 minutes from the Strip, and so it's close. It's in a very industrial kind of nice area. So it's in a commercial area, and yeah, we're excited. We're trying to, like I said, make as So one of the things that we need to do is obviously leverage a 3PL, a third party logistics company, for housing all of our coffee beans, because the temperature in Las Vegas is too hot for
Right.
us to be, just throwing all of our coffee in our garage. Because it was like, before we left, it was 114 degrees. So you can't keep coffee at that temperature. So we're having to leverage a third party logistics company for actually doing shipping and receiving. So in addition to the coffee shop, in addition to the movie studio, we're also going to carve out warehouse space for storing and shipping the coffee beans. So, we're actually going to be coming out with different types of cards. So we'll have bags for people that are, old school and want to, use a coffee machine. We will also be shipping K cups. So for those of you with the Keurig machine, we're going to be shipping K cups. And so right now I'm in the process. We just finished the tasting. We're really excited about the different palettes that our different roasts are offering. And we're also excited about the fact that we're designing all the coffee bags right now. So we're working with an illustrator to design the coffee bags, as well as the Keurig boxes and the actual K-cup lid. So everything is going through a design process right now. And then once that's done, we're looking at about 19 weeks for the final roast come in. So we're super excited about it. Yeah, each coffee bag, each coffee is going to be, obviously having a different name. So we're planning on naming the first roast Black Hat, and then another one is, so this is going to be, the official coffee roast of hackers. So the next bag will be White Hat. The plan is to actually ship a copy called Night Dragon because Dave DeWalt has been a longtime friend of mine, and I want to give him his own branded copy. So we're going to be shipping one called Night Dragon. This is the first time announcing that, so it was announced first on your show. So Dave,
Yes.
I got you taken care of. So yeah, we're excited about it.
So I
want
want
something for Ron and Chris, actually, like a Hacker Valley Media copy roast. Something for
Dude.
Chris and Ron to just have their own, maybe we do a Cyber Warrior being.
Ron and Chris,
So,
look, I gotta
yeah,
say this. I know you're here, Alissa, and I see Chris and Jennifer in the LinkedIn and YouTube chat. I gotta say this. Chris has been a friend of mine. Well, for a minute he was an acquaintance. He has quickly become a good friend of mine because I met him at Sands in 2020. And so Hacker Valley Media, I knew him when there wasn't a Hacker Valley Media. It was just Hacker Valley
I heard they were. It was like Hacker Valley Mansion or something. There was something about, they were telling me the story. So I went to dinner with him and him and Ron and his wife at Black Hat, and had the chance to just hang out with them. And they told me the story of where it actually all originated from. And I guess there was this mansion in Silicon Valley, and it was a really cool story, grassroots story. So.
Yeah, definitely. They're great people.
Them.
Look, anybody who doesn't follow Hacker Valley, go follow them, please. I beg of you. Jump on their Discord.
Chris and Ron, as well as Jennifer, and they're just, their wives are
Monica.
They're just such good people. Where Monica, it's one. They're those kind of people where you say, if someone says that I don't like them, I don't trust you. Like there's something wrong with you. They're that litmus test for people where they're like if someone says, and I've never run into this, but if anyone says I don't like them, I'm immediately not going to trust you. There's something wrong with you. Are you a serial killer? Are you, what is actually wrong with you? They're just so
for sure.
Chris?
Hey, by the way, I love the hat, Alissa. I do got to say that. I love the hat. You're rocking
it. Yeah, it's it's funny. I've just always been into fedoras. I want to go back to the time when all the men walked around with fedoras and trench coats, and it was a good time.
I've seen it, but I can't wear a tie and a button down. That just bugs the shit out of me. I try, but I can't do it. I can't. I feel so uncomfortable wearing that.
Do you, man? Just do you. It's all good.
But let's talk a little bit more. I see Eric's face. Eric, what do you got to say?
You're wearing a freaking button down.
But I can't. It's not up to my neck. I'm not wearing a tie. I can't wear a tie. I feel like I'm being strangled. But Alissa,
Chris, help me out here. He's wearing a. Come on, man.
So when it comes to hacking APIs, which was one of the prime topics on Dave's show, and it is so vitally important. So for those who haven't watched Dave Bomball's show, I'm sure Alissa went in a hell of a lot more detail than we're going to allow her to go into here.
Well, David was kind enough to actually bring me back on a show, and we just filmed the new show. So nice. I actually have this return episode that's coming out soon, where you actually watch me go from beginning to end in bypassing certificate pinning on a mobile app to hack an API. So we actually do I go through a live demonstration in the show. But yeah, it was a great. David Bomball is just I absolutely adore him, love him. Before I got on his show, we were trying to become monetized, and we had the followers, but we didn't have the watch time. And
that's me.
I appeared on David Bomball's show, and immediately, I want to say maybe a week or two after I was on his show, we exceeded all of the requirements to become a monetized YouTube channel. He is just such a massive following. He's amazing, and his followers love him and respect him, and he's just a great guy. Absolutely great guy.
He just did a show with one of our friends on social engineering with Professor Reggae and from Temple University. Wonderful show that he did on social engineering. It was really, really good.
Oh, that's amazing. Yeah. I like the depth at which he goes into in his shows is, I like different shows. That's what I love your show. It's different. I like, I don't like Me Too shows, which is why, I don't know. I feel like a lot of the shows are starting to look and sound the same. And so when you have a unique show like CyberWarriorStudios, you have, Hacker Valley, you have, David Bomble's show, they're just different, and they're none of them are kind of lookalikes. And that's what I look for, in shows and is original content. So yeah, thank you for what you do.
Yeah, definitely. And thank you, Alissa, because honestly, that was one of the reasons I did this is I seen so many and it's so interview oriented where, hey, I'm going to send you a list of questions, come
Right,
up with and compose a bunch of answers or, think
right.
about what you're going to talk about. But for me, it was like, look, I want you to have a drink, relax. And I don't care if you are in school and learning the field. And I don't care if you've been in the field 100 years. It's not about what you think, we're gonna talk and have a conversation for people that are
Yeah,
just breaking in.
yeah.
It, and so for me, having you on, and especially seeing all that you're doing, because the importance of, and I suck at APIs. I'm absolutely horrible at them. I've got a buddy that works with me. The company I work for, he does AppSec and those APIs and all those things. And so I watched your interview and I immediately sent it over to our work chat. And I was like, y'all need to watch this shit. Like
Oh,
right
thank
now,
you.
y'all need to watch this because this is on point. And
Yeah,
your
thank
knowledge
you.
and what you bring to the table is just utterly amazing when it comes to APIs and car hacking and everything else that you do.
Yeah, so I like to definitely focus on the more arcane areas of cybersecurity and vulnerability research. You look at my car hacking book and the videos on my YouTube channel where I took remote control of law enforcement vehicles and remotely starting and stopping the engine or remotely unlocking the door, and that affected every Ford on the road that had an active telematics subscription. So it was huge. Federal and state law enforcement, the intelligence community. I ended up presenting to the NSA, the CIA, the FBI, the Secret Service, because all of the DoD components and the law enforcement components use Fords, and so this obviously got a lot of attention. And it was exciting. It was cool research, and so, but much to your point, I definitely like to do unique research where people are not really focusing. And the good news is it seems like more and more vulnerability researchers are focusing on API hacking, and it's important that we do because yes, while we as the good guys, as the defenders, are needing to focus more on APIs, hackers, black hats, adversaries, they're already doing that. That's it's all about not only just profiting off of data, but double dipping on that data. So ransoming the company after you steal, after you encrypt the data, and then leaking that data and selling it on the dark web. So it's a real problem right now, and I think the more people that can learn API hacking, the better, because it really is the plumbing for everything in our world today. So for your audience that doesn't know what an API is, it's basically a Rosetta Stone that allows applications to talk. So it allows one application to be able to talk to another, and it really kind of just sort of normalizes that data or those requests in order for you to be able to do that. So, mobile apps talk to APIs, your car driving around on the road is talking to an API. So it's pretty much the plumbing of our financial infrastructure, as well as transportation, even healthcare. So I don't know if any of your audience saw my 55 banks I hacked in less than a week through APIs, my 30 different
I
mobile
saw
health
it.
apps and fire APIs. Yeah. So,
A- and the
I was
and
able
the
to access
problem is
millions
that
of patient records
APIs
because of
the
this.
problem is that APIs are always not, because they're built as a connector, they're not secured, or they're secured after the
Yeah.
fact. So
Yeah.
it's a
And
connecting
that's,
tissue for everything, but it's
yeah.
unsecured.
Yeah. And it's, yeah. And, some comments were made that, hey, look, if I'm a web application penetration tester, I know how to hack APIs. That's not necessarily true. I've met quite a few application pen testers who have no idea how to perform a pen test against an API. It's as soon as they start seeing JSON, they get freaked out. So I mean, it's definitely, I think, a craft that
Me,
not
I
everyone
hate
knows how to do.
JSON. I absolutely despise it.
Jeez.
Look, whether or not it's easy, look, I can write in Python and I can read Python and I understand it. The moment you start breaking dictionaries and lists and it keeps going further and further and further, I'm just like, what level am I at? What am I trying to read here? And what the fuck is going on?
Yeah. Well, I mean,
Learn.
yeah, I mean, and I feel like, I mean, I've been hacking APIs for like about 5 years now. I've released, I think, 5 vulnerability research reports. I'm about to release a new one. And even I come into things that I still don't know. Like, right, so far in my experience, I've been focusing on hacking REST APIs, RESTful APIs. But you also have GraphQL APIs. You have all sorts of just, so when
So,
you're talking API, it can mean multiple things, not just one thing. So SOAP, exactly, very good. I mean, it really, it encompasses so many different types of technologies. So it's interesting, but it's been the impetus for a lot of my vulnerability research over the last, I would say, over the last decade. And so I've been having a lot of fun. I'm definitely ready to move on to that next chapter in my life. And so I'm excited. And one of the things that I will also drop for the first time on your show is I'm planning on actually completely reinventing my channel and the content that I put out. There's some amazing hackers out there like Dr. Katie Paxton Fear.
Yeah.
yep.
A lot of amazing influencers and content creators that walk you through step by step on how to hack APIs. As you know, I have my Shadow Academy on my YouTube channel, but I've made the decision to move on and put out different kinds of content. So moving forward, I'm going to do this sort of collision between cybersecurity and filmmaking, and that's really a lot of my content is going to be centered around is, creating the ultimate home YouTube studio, cinematic lighting, choosing the right camera lens, because filmmaking has become such a huge part of my life. When I've been doing cybersecurity for 22 years now, I'm ready to move on. I want to, when I'm not on a movie set, I'm thinking about when I'm going to be back on the movie set.
Alyssa,
And
we need
so,
to talk because I have some ideas me and you need to
I would
collaborate
love that.
on. I have some
Yeah.
movie / show things around hacking
I
that I think you'd
love
love.
it. Yeah, and I look, I understand the fact that I will probably lose followers. I'll probably lose people that, you know, are not going to want that kind of content. But one thing that I'm always trying to tell content creators is create content for you. Don't create content for your audience. Create content that you want to create, that you're passionate about, because
When
that
your
will come
passion
through in your
shows.
content.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. Yeah, and
Yep.
and that's the thing, is that if you're not passionate about what you're doing, it'll come out in your work. If you
Yep.
don't, oh, thank you, Jess. If you don't love what you're doing, I always tell people, I can teach you how to hack an API, I can teach you how to hack a car, but I can't teach you passion. I can't teach you
Yep.
interest in wanting to learn it and do it. And that's something that can't be taught. You can't teach, passion. So, I know, I mean, I'm just not at a point anymore where I want to troubleshoot how to get something running on Ubuntu because the new version of Ubuntu broke, something, or there's a mis. I'm just not there anymore. I don't like. It's not at all interesting to me trying to get Frida
I
running on Ubuntu. So
I
so
love that you say
what
this though,
happened in
because I love that you say this for multiple reasons. The first one is, and Eric is going to make me drink for this, is actually on the most recent episode of my new podcast, Walk With Me. I had someone bring in the topic about what about passion and stuff for how you execute, because that was what the whole new episode was about. And it got me thinking, you're right. Passion, I talk about it all the time. If you don't love what you do, if you don't love what you're doing,
Yeah.
then you're not going to be in it. And so even on my channel, you'll see I will go weeks without, with the exception of this new book, I'll go weeks without a technical video. But I may
Yeah.
go at most a week without a Motivation Monday. And unless I
Yeah.
absolutely have to take time off from this show's on every week. It's the
Yeah.
technical content that I'm kind of like,
It's
I do it for
yeah.
Evergreen,
And
but I care more about this. I care more about helping others
yeah, and
by motivating them.
and you can tell when someone is doing something that they're not excited by. You can tell when someone writes a report that they weren't interested in writing. You can tell. And so I don't ever want anyone to watch something of mine where they're like, wow, Alyssa clearly was not having fun with this. She clearly is not happy. And so, I'm just ready to sort of, I guess, move on to that next chapter in my life as a filmmaker. And if I'm not on set filming, I want to be talking about filming. And because there's so much knowledge that I've gained over the last few years of different focal lengths, lenses, and the do's and don'ts, of like someone will put up with, bad lighting, but they won't put up with bad audio. All of these things that, is important for creators, because I've had so many people reach out to me, Alyssa, what is the best microphone to buy? What is the best camera to buy? What is the best whatever? And I feel like I can really add a lot of value there for people.
Yeah.
And also continuing this collision of cybersecurity and filmmaking. It doesn't necessarily need to be a step-by-step video of how to do something or how to hack something. I can still weave in, my experience in cybersecurity as a hacker into filmmaking. And I feel like that's what really was the success behind Mr. Robot, with Rami Malek, was
Yeah.
we were finally seeing a
The
franchise
reality.
that was technically accurate. It wasn't about, oh, I'm hacking a password file that's a three-dimensional cube. It was ridiculous. The days of hackers and the hackers movie are gone.
Hey,
And us
And
don't get
and
mad at hackers, all right? I love that
okay.
movie
I
still.
see
It is
your
a cult
poster. It's a great
classic.
movie. It's a
And the
cult
thing,
classic. It's
Alyssa,
very entertaining.
Alyssa, is bringing cybersecurity to the masses
Yeah.
is very important
Yeah,
for us right now. It's
yeah,
not just
yeah,
educating who we are in the circle. It's about
yeah.
showing to the masses, and through filmmaking and your passion, that's going to shine through and reach a bigger audience.
Yeah, I agree. And here's the thing. I mean, I have parents, I have moms and dads that reach out to me and say, "Listen, I watch your show with my daughter. You're helping to build the next generation of cybersecurity defenders." And that's awesome, and that I love that. And that's and you're right, Eric, because it really is about, not just entertaining but also educating and building that next generation of defenders who will replace me and everyone else. And and I love that I can spark that kind of interest and excitement in cybersecurity through the videos and through the films and the TV shows we're creating.
And one of the big things for me in going forward with what you're doing, and what turned me off from Mr. Robot, and it was a complete turn off for me, was his stereotypical like drug addiction, introverted.
Oh
I can't
yeah,
do
yeah,
this.
very dark,
Like,
very, yeah,
so
a
for
lot of
me, looking at
drugs.
that,
Yeah,
that is not going to attract people to cybersecurity, regardless of
yeah,
how
Plot point. That's not that
realistic
bad.
yeah,
it technically could have been. Watching that, that's like, okay, what
yeah,
media portrays is what people see. And so seeing that,
yeah,
but then seeing your show where it's like you don't have someone just like popping drugs or whatever. It's like, hey, I got this box.
yeah,
Hey, I did this. And they're completely in their right mind. Like, that
yeah.
is
Well,
completely
there's a
different. And
there's a
that's how it should be.
I won't I won't
Don't
spoil
give
it.
away the rest. No.
There's a twist. There's a twist coming in the next episode, in episode 2. So, but yeah, no, and I agree with you. I mean, I can't watch Mr. Robot too long. I at some point I want to slip my own wrist. You know, it's like,
right.
it's so
Like I'm
dark,
watching it
you know,
going, what
it's
the
so
hell,
dark.
homie?
Yeah, it's so dark. I can't, like, I start to get depressed watching it too much. You know, it's kind of like, you know, The Dark Knight, you know, it's just it's I can't watch something too dark too long. So, you know, I'm excited by what we're doing. I'm excited what's to come. We just got this new FBI series. So, there's a new series we just got the first season for. It's we're calling it Dark Ops. If any of you watch Criminal Minds, this is going to be very similar to Criminal Minds. So, behavioral analysis unit within the FBI, BAU Unit 2. So, BAU number 2 is focused on white collar crime and cybercrime. And so, we are actually going to be doing the series based on BAU 2, criminal profilers who are going after cybercrime, you know, hackers, ransomware groups. And it's co-sponsored by a new co-producer of ours, Tego Cyber, which created and they're publicly traded. They have a threat intelligence platform, threat hunting platform. So they're going to be co-producing the series with us. And yeah, so that's what's really exciting about everything we're doing is we have a different co-producer for every single franchise that we've got. So we're about to launch Scorched Earth, and you know, happy to give Derek, you and Eric a link to that first episode, a private link to that first episode, and you guys can see it, and would love to get your feedback on it. So yeah, we're excited. I actually, Scorched Earth is based on my life. So it was the first series where we had an opportunity to work with the co-producers that was going to be based on a true story, based on my life. So you see, you know, my arrest by the FBI and Scorched Earth, and you know, everything that just kind of transpired after that, and going to work for the U.S. intelligence community, you know, and chasing down, you know, these crime syndicates. So it's a lot of fun. We had a lot of fun with that franchise.
That's going to be amazing.
But are you playing yourself?
I'm not. No one wants to see me act. I make these Stan Lee kind of cameos. I make
you got
these
people
Stan Lee
behind
kind
you
of
waving
cameos
hi.
in our series.
Hi, everybody.
I saw, yeah. I have these cameos in the different franchises that I do, and so that's kind of been the thing we've been doing. So like I was the bartender in one franchise, you know,
I have a
and
question,
so
though.
you know, I don't. Yeah, what's that?
Were you wearing a fedora when you were doing the bartending?
I was not. I was not. No fedora in that. The fedora's been kind of like a new thing since I colored my hair.
Oh,
you know,
I
since
like the
cut
hair,
my hair.
though. That hair's
So,
awesome.
Yeah.
I like the hair.
So I don't know. But it's yeah, so it's I don't know. I feel like hats work a lot better on short hair than long hair. So
Oh, you're not wrong. They do for sure.
Yeah, I just feel like it works better.
Yeah, for me and you got to have a talk for sure, Alissa, because there's a lot of there's some things that I've been wanting to do that you're doing, and so me and you need to have a conversation definitely off air about some of the ideas that you may be able to do.
Yeah, you know, here's the thing, like we love getting unsolicited screenplays. The other thing is that we have instances where like for example, Robert Leali is a very good friend of mine, and he goes by Carfucker. He runs the car hacking village at DEF CON. I love his alias. This is his Twitter handle.
Hey, guess what? You can say it. This is my show. I don't give a goddamn what you say.
It's actually actually CARFUCAR. So it's actually Carfucker. So I love it. But,
and Alissa, I saw him last week.
Yeah, he's such a great guy. I actually brought him in, and we worked on some jobs together when I was living in Germany, and brought him in on some engagements. But you know, here's the thing with Robert, for example, he's always wanted to do screenplays, And so, we're talking to him about submitting a screenplay idea. We want to get ideas from the industry on what they want to see, and so actually we're running two contests right now. So one contest is we're doing sort of this Willy Wonka
I saw I'm
approach
buying
where
your
we're,
coffee
yeah,
this
the
week
golden
or
tickets.
next week when I get
Yeah,
paid. It's happening.
yeah. So we're gonna be putting golden tickets in I think in a Keurig box, and then one in some coffee bags. And whoever gets that golden ticket, we will fly out to Hollywood. You could be part of a filming for our next episode of our series, and then we're doing another contest. I believe it's with Conceal for Ransom, where they want to actually submit. You can go and fill out a form and submit an idea for a show, and we will randomly pick an idea and then use it. And then if we use it, we'll bring you in for the filming as well. So we're wanting to involve and engage the cybersecurity community, and have the industry feel like we're creating content for them that they want to see, and be a part of shaping some of these franchises. So we're super excited about everything going on right now, and I think the best is yet to come.
Yeah, definitely. You've got a lot of good things going on. And, I know what we said we were going to talk about, but I just can't get away from the fact that with this transformation into filmmaking, you bring so much knowledge and so much security to that industry and with what you're doing that I can't get away from what you're actually able to bring to the public and to the public eye
Yeah.
of how things really are. It isn't just running a ping on a screen. It's legitimately, I saw Ransom's first episode. The chick was literally in Metasploit on a Kali Linux box, like
Yeah.
doing
Yeah.
exactly what you would see in real life. And things like that, I think, will appeal to nobody that watches NCIS or NCIS Cyber or anything like that really knows what's going on anyway. So
Two people typing on the same keyboard.
yeah, right. Like
Yeah.
nobody really knows,
Yeah.
but what you're doing will appeal to them in terms of the show. But then you
Yeah.
bring in the cybersecurity people that are like, oh, I want to watch this for all the technical shit that she's going to do.
Yeah, exactly. And it gets even crazier in some of our other franchises, and we're definitely evolving and learning with every new franchise, and getting better, I feel, with every new franchise, and incorporating more hands-on keyboard stuff, and eyes on glass stuff. We're really going to be pushing the envelope in dark ops, you know talking about creating an FBI psyoc, and some of the things that they're going to be doing to track down these hackers, and using real life tools. And that's the thing, is we believe that CISOs and decision makers and security engineers are tired of being marketed to, tired of being advertised to.
Yep.
And so what we're trying to do is completely reinvent cybersecurity marketing, where we're demonstrating why you need a product, why you need a technology, not what it does or how it works. A lot of people don't know this, but Apple was not the first company to make the MP3 player. It was not Steve Jobs. It was Creative Labs. Apple
Yep.
shipped the first MP3 player 17 months after Creative Labs created it. The only difference between Creative Labs and Apple is Creative Labs told us what it did, and Apple told us why we needed it. And so that was the genius, and continues to be the genius behind Apple's marketing. And so people don't buy what you do, they buy why you do it. I'm a big believer in Simon Sinek's belief in that. And so what we're doing is we're taking that same concept and doing it through storytelling. I just believe that at this new TikTok generation, people are not downloading and reading 30-page white papers anymore.
No.
People want to learn about products and learn about companies through video and through films, and binge watch those episodes. So, we're doing these bingeable series and weaving real companies' products into the story arc. So while you're watching an episode of something, you can go right back to the office or home and buy that product. And so that's what we're doing with Night Studios.
So I got to ask, is HP and these other companies paying you for doing that? Because I saw the HP laptop in the first episode. So
yeah, that's something we're working on. They are not, and so I think we can get away with that, since right now we are working on a Netflix series, but like Since these are not being distributed through major distributors like Netflix or Apple TV and stuff, we can get away with doing that, or cable TV. But I think as the company continues and as we work on these new franchises, I don't think we're going to be able to get away with that much longer. So moving forward, we're starting to buy those little round stickers to cover up those brands, making sure that people aren't wearing brands on their shirts. The actors are not wearing brands.
Don't worry, I'll send you a Rice Cyber.
Send me
Hold
those.
up! Why'd you go through
stickers.
someone else? I made your last ones, damn it, bastard! I didn't make those.
So we're gonna start policing that a little bit better moving forward. But wait, I got a lot of compliments on my MacBook cover that was being used, that wood grain Apple cover for my MacBook.
I've seen those.
That hackers were using in that. Yeah. So we can't keep doing that. We definitely need to change that moving forward.
Yeah, I saw that and I was like, I wonder if they actually got paid for that, or if they did it just because it is on a minimal distribution.
Hey, Alissa,
it's not on a thing.
Product placement is important.
I should call up HP and be like, hey, so we've got this series.
Look, I've been trying to get a hold of Yingling Beer, Broken Skull, and anybody else that is a beer distributor to kind of like sponsor me, and they won't freaking do it. I give them free advertising every time I do a show, bastards.
I know.
Start putting it in my
if they don't have to pay for it, they won't do it. I mean, but there are some rules when it comes to stuff like this. Like, as long as you're using a brand the way it was intended, then you can use it. They obviously have the right to sue you, but I mean, technically, the way that U.S. intellectual property laws work, you can use the product as long as, and show their product and their brand and logo, but as long as you're not using it the way it was not intended, it's okay. Like, if you're using a Starbucks cup to poison and kill someone, that doesn't necessarily.
That's wrong.
That's not using the
wrong?
brand the way it was meant to be used. So we obviously, need to be careful with that. But
so you mean I shouldn't have Grogu back here?
Yo, Grogu's awesome.
I think you guys are okay. Yeah, you can't go wrong with Grogu.
Awesome. So, but no, I do. I love everything that you're doing, and that's the crazy part. Is that I went into this episode, and I was like, I'm gonna talk about APIs. I'm gonna talk about car hacking in your filmmaking studio. But with everything you're doing, it just blows my mind, because the more I hear you talk, the more you talk about what you're doing, I'm like, man, you're as bad as me. You had all these ideas. Difference is, you made it happen. I'm still trying to make it happen. You made it happen.
I always tell people, dreams and goals. The difference between a goal and a dream is that goals are dreams with deadlines, right? So it's really important for me to not only just come up with an idea, but actually execute on it. Once I get an idea, I move on it. I'm a very much a ready, fire, aim girl. So, most people will walk up to that cliff and look down and be like, that's a long drop. I'm one of those girls that'll just run and jump off the cliff and look down and say, wow, that's a long drop. So I mean, that's kind of just the way I've lived my whole life. Is you only know for sure until you actually do something. You won't really know. You can run all the mathematical models you can, and do as much planning as you can, but at the end of the day, you won't really know unless you actually try. And so, that's what I'm doing. Is my life has just been just a series of tries, and
actually, screw try. There was no try. There was do. You have done everything you set your mind to. God damn it. There is no try. There's do or do not. Yeah. And you have nailed it every step of the way. And that's a big thing about it. And you said a lot. Look, I'm gonna plug it again. Walk with Me, my podcast about execute. She just hit like every note that I talked about, which is just do it. You're gonna fail. You're gonna make mistakes. You're gonna fall. You have to get your ass back up and just go forward. But if you never pull the trigger, if you never execute, then you only have yourself to blame for the mediocrity that you have. That's all.
Yeah, to me,
who you blame.
Yeah. Yeah, that's the thing. And for me, I haven't talked about this much, but a week ago I had surgery. They found a mass, and so they're doing a biopsy to find out if it's malignant or not. And so, um, here's the thing. I know that tomorrow isn't promised to any of us, and so, you know, for me, when I do die, I want people to be able to say that Alyssa Knight lived well. That she did everything she could in a time that she was given. 'Cause I'm always telling people, we all have the same amount of time. I have the same amount of time that Tim Cook has, the same amount of time that the homeless person on the corner has. It's what am I going to do with my time? And so when I do die, I don't ever want people to be able to say that she squandered her life and she squandered the
Right.
time that she had. So, I've always been very acutely aware of my own mortality, and you know, um, it's important to me that I always feel like I'm doing something,
Yeah.
and I guess in my case, doing everything.
Right, you are. And that's the
Yeah,
crazy thing. Look,
yeah,
we look at it and this. We can only live day by day. You only have
right,
today. Tomorrow is not guaranteed.
right,
And so with
yeah,
everything you do, you have to pull the trigger. I don't care. If you're afraid of failure,
yeah,
get that shit out of your head. Get it out of your
yeah,
head. You cannot be afraid of failure. Yes, we're gonna fail. We're gonna fall down. We're gonna make mistakes. We're gonna make bad
yeah,
choices. But at the end of the day, it's all about, did you even attempt it? Did you even go for it? If
yeah,
you never went for it, then you only have yourself to blame. And so many
yeah.
people blame others because they never pulled the trigger. They never even tried.
Oh,
And Jen,
yeah.
God, Jen, look, that is a gorgeous picture of you and Chris, by the way. But Alyssa
Yeah.
Knight is a modern day Renaissance woman. Hashtag respect. Yes, she is. Alyssa Knight
Thank
is
you,
amazing.
Jennifer.
Don't get me
Yeah.
wrong. So I do. I think that it's crazy the things that you have going on. So going forward, now you said you're changing your channel from more of the cybersecurity aspect to bridging that gap.
More filmmaking. Yeah.
Yeah. So with that, what in that concept, how do you feel like you could take cybersecurity and bring it more to the forefront and bridge that gap? Because we see a lot of filmmaking studios and a lot of studios get breached all the time.
Yeah.
Are you able to take your knowledge of what you're able to accomplish and what you know you can do to at least help mitigate some of that problem going forward?
Yeah. So, for me, I've always talked about it being, my mantra or goal or mission is to bring industrial light and magic to cybersecurity. That's the mission that we're on with Night Studios. And so definitely for sure, I mean, we live in a much more distributed economy now where, a lot of organizations are not going back to the office. They're staying in a permanent work from home environment. And Hollywood is very much fractured and distributed. And, you have, you know, production, and then you have post production. And post production, you're sending your raw footage, raw video everywhere, right? And that's where you have issues where, with piracy happening in Hollywood and all these other issues, because that film is shipped around to so many different subcontractors and people that that have their hands on that film in post production. And so, so cybersecurity is a huge challenge in Hollywood and in filmmaking in general, where we are where we're wanting to help lock that down and harden that process, and we definitely practice that here at Night Studios. Obviously piracy isn't as big of a deal with what we're doing, but I'm sure moving forward with our other franchises, the new Netflix series we're working on, all these things are going to be a concern. You know, we have, you know, I have color graders who are doing color grading for us in post production in London. You know, and you know, we have some folks in South Africa. You know, we have so many people that are part of the filmmaking process, distributed all over the world, that cybersecurity is an ongoing concern, obviously.
Yeah, definitely. And that's been one of the big things looking at it is, you know, Sony got hit for how much?
Yep.
You know, and
Yeah.
other studios got hit. I think Netflix at one point got hit, or Disney or somebody. So
Yeah.
these big companies are getting breached. And so with you going into Netflix and building this Netflix company, are you able to, or have you talked to anybody that would allow you to at least advise them on how to better secure your content by way of securing their company? Because that's the only way to do it. You can't do just yours. It would have to be the entire company. So have you been able to have any of those conversations?
Yeah, you know, there's a company that we're talking to right now that's actually leveraging VPNs for distributed workflow for raw films. So you have, like I said, you know, there's a common thing said in Hollywood that a film is actually made in post production, not in production, and that the actual movie is made in post production. And so there's a company that makes this central server, if you will, where all of the raw video footage is stored, and access control and authorization is applied at a granular level for people that are accessing that film to go do color grading on it, do sound design, do all these things that for all these different units that are involved in actually creating the final film. And so they're leveraging VPNs, you know. I mean, and I was sitting there thinking, like, wow, you know, as a hacker, how can I, you know, compromise this, you know, and the fact that they're only using VPNs, and, you know, in this particular case, not even using keys, you know. And so it's a real problem. But cybersecurity definitely, you know, is a huge concern in Hollywood, for sure.
Oh yeah, definitely. And we've looked at it. I mean, like I said, we've seen all the different breaches, all the different films being released prior to, because we're no
Yeah.
longer in a time of I'm gonna go to a theater and record it. How many
Yeah. Oh
video?
no. Oh yeah, I mean, in cell phone, I mean, technology. You know, I can record 4K on my iPhone. You know, I mean,
Yep.
now I think Android, or I think Samsung has released a new phone that they're talking about, or are about to release one that can record 8K. I mean,
Yep.
it's insane. I mean, I can even throw a really high quality Sennheiser shotgun mic on my iPhone, and, you know, in a theater, and it's not going to sound, you know, like the DVD would, or streaming it from Netflix or Amazon Prime, but it's going to be damn good enough to watch, you know. But I mean, you're right, you know, Derek. That's the age in which we live in. When you're talking about a franchise, a movie that, you know, cost $400 million to make, you know, the new Avatar or whatever you're talking about, you're talking about a lot of money at stake. You know, that the company can't make if, you know, a really great copy of that movie is floating around, you know, either recorded in theater with a really great phone, you know, or you know, just straight up hacked or pirated or whatever in the post-production process.
And that's what I'm looking at is more of the post production. The I'm gonna just break into your network and take it. I'm just going to
Yeah.
sit there, and it's not
Yeah.
ransom. They don't need to ransom it. They literally
Eight
just grab it and
Yeah.
share it.
8K 24.
Yeah. Yeah.
So you know that's a
We
huge
live in a very
issue,
different time.
Yep.
and
Yeah.
I think cybersecurity, at least from the forefront of you know what we do, is I think Hollywood needs to take a bigger step forward on how they protect their systems. I think the production
Yeah.
companies and things like that. I don't know how. I don't work there. I don't know what systems they have in place, but I do know that too often movies have been leaked and things have been done that are production quality. It's no
Oh
longer
yeah. It
I'm
was.
not gonna sit in a video, you know, I'm gonna sit in a theater and record the whole thing and leak it on a torrent. It's now a week or two before it even comes out. I'm just gonna drop it on a you know, wherever I want, or
Yeah,
I'm
and
gonna
there's
say $5, here you go.
Yeah, I mean, I can look at rips of films and tell, like, obviously you can tell if it was recorded in a theater, but
Mhm.
I could tell, like, hey, look, it's clear that the color graders pirated this copy of this film. But yeah, it's a real problem. There's so many copies of that film being passed from company to company, to editors, to the color graders, to sound designers, all of this stuff, VFX, visual effects. I've got visual effects people, in Europe, and it's just, you've got people distributed everywhere because not everyone is sitting there in Los Angeles, California. Yeah, there's amazing people distributed around the world that we need to get our film to, or whatever, that, I can't control every hop, you know?
Yeah, and so Leonardo has a question, and it's a question. Actually, I gotta ask, what's your take in piracy to bypass regional blocks?
Um, I Yeah, I mean, to me, it sucked. I used to live in Mexico, and there were regional blocks, and me being able to access, certain series, certain TV shows on Netflix that I wanted to watch, or Amazon Prime. I mean, I've done it. I think we've all done it. Used a VPN to make it look like we're coming in from the U.S. if we live outside the U.S. I mean, I'm a director and producer, and I'll even admit to doing that. I think geo blocking is stupid. I think, just the whole idea of it, restricting what certain countries can see and not see, I think it's a real problem. And to me, I think even Netflix got to a point where they're looking for things like that. They're checking to see if you're coming out of an
Yep.
exit node, or you're doing something to make it look like you're coming from the US when you live outside the United States. But I mean, I don't know. My personal opinion is I think it's stupid, and you know, do you, if you want
Eh,
to watch something or see something, you know,
exactly, so when I was stationed in Kuwait, I dealt with the same thing. I went to NordVPN.
yeah,
I paid for them because they had one specifically, and they would jump. You had to figure out which ones could do what, but they had ways around the VPN blocks that were often in place.
yeah,
And so it is. I think it is utterly ridiculous to block content or block videos. Now we're not talking about China or any of those other countries that like to
yeah,
put up their great firewalls, but U.S., Canada, UK, Europe,
yeah.
places that don't really have those restrictions. I never understood why. Take for instance, Lost Girl is only available in Canada now on Netflix. Why?
Oh
Why?
wow.
Why can I not watch it here
Yeah,
where I really want to watch it again? Like, it
Well,
makes
yeah,
no
Alyssa,
sense.
yeah,
we're getting to almost you having to board over here. So
yeah.
um, I want to thank you for being here with us in the show.
Oh, thank you so much, Eric.
We want to give you from our hearts all the love and good luck that we can
Oh,
send to you, because you're doing some amazing, amazing things. So thank you very much for
thank you.
being here, and look forward to a lot of your content. And everybody, follow Alissa Knight on Twitter. That's one of the best places to follow her to get all the stuff that she's doing. So, and thank you for me, and we'll talk to you soon. So, Derek.
Yeah, definitely,
Thank you
Alyssa.
so much,
Hey,
Eric.
yeah, I have to thank you. Again, between LinkedIn and Twitter, her handle's the same. It's Alyssa Knight. You can
YouTube,
look in the
yeah, yeah. You can
description
find my
below.
YouTube channel, subscribe to my YouTube channel, watch my
Yes.
videos. Yeah, like I said, new content coming. And Derek, thank you so much for having me on the show, and introducing me to your followers and your network. And I appreciate you guys. Keep doing what you're doing because it's great. Love what you guys are
Yeah,
doing.
definitely. Thank you. I truly appreciate it, Alyssa. And thank you again for coming on and making the time for us, even as you're sitting at the damn airport. Uh, but I love you
Thank you.
regardless. And truly, I appreciate everything you're
Uh,
doing. We are going
I
to
love you
talk
guys too.
later on in the next few weeks. But you take care. You have a good one. For everybody
Thank you.
watching, make sure you like, comment, subscribe down below. And if you're listening on podcast, please rate and review us. Look in the description for all the ways you can contact Alyssa Knight or myself for any of the support that you want to do, or Eric Bellardo. And I will catch you all next time.